What's up, guys? It's JJ, and welcome back to Victory Lane. For the third time this week, we've had a lot of NASCAR news, huge NASCAR news that came out on Tuesday. If you haven't already, please go watch that video that I put out on Tuesday, giving my thoughts on the Kyle Busch news that has come out. I'm sure all y'all know about it by now, but if you want to hear my thoughts, please go check out our last episode of Victory Lane on the channel. It's me just talking about everything Kyle Busch related from that announcement. But yeah, now we are shifting our focus from the future and Kyle Busch's plans for next year. All of that doesn't matter right now. All that matters is this weekend's race at Bristol, our first cutoff race of the season, our first elimination race of the season, I guess you could say. And Bristol's always a great track, my favorite track, especially to go to and watch in person. I've been several times, and it's a great track, great atmosphere. It's just a really fun track. I like watching it. I was very close to getting to go this year, but I'm sadly not going to be there in person for this race. But doesn't mean I'm not going to be watching it at home, and doesn't mean we can't talk about it here. So, first thing we're going to do is kind of just talk about the playoff standings and where they're at. So, Christopher Bell is already locked into the next round. He's had a really good first round. Really good season, actually. But, let's look more into the bubble guys. So, guys looking on the outside, looking into the playoffs, you got Kevin Harvick. He's in a must-win situation. And he's the guy that I do expect to be very strong this weekend. And I could very well see him getting a win. Harvick was very good here last year. We all know how that turned out between him and Chase Elliott there at the end of the last year's Bristol race. But Kevin Harvick's a guy that I think could be very good at Bristol this week, especially in a must-win situation like he's in. Chase Briscoe, he started out the season showing some speed. And I really don't think it's much to do with his talent level. I think Chase is a very good driver. I think a lot of it is just to do with Stewart-Haas is not a top team like they used to be. Since they had that really dominant year 2 or 3 years back, Stewart-Haas has been, I'd say, on a level with Richard Childress, honestly. So I think they went from maybe one of the most dominant teams 2 or 3 years ago to now they're a upper mid-tier team. So I really don't see Chase Briscoe winning at Bristol or even making it into the next round. Then you've got Austin Dillon, who is 3 points out. I don't see Austin making it into the next round either. He very well could. He's still in a great spot to be able to make it in. He's only 3 points out. So especially with if Austin Cindric or Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, even if any of those guys have a bad run, it would not be hard for Austin Dillon to make it in, but I just don't see him making it in, most likely. Kyle Busch, I really don't know what to expect from Kyle. We all know how good Kyle is at Bristol. This is one of his best tracks. He's dominated at Bristol for years. He's been so good there. We don't see a driver really be that good at a certain track, or at least not as much as Kyle Busch is just always good at Bristol. But with him, his announcement of him leaving, what kind of car is he going to have? What kind of equipment is he going to have? I just don't know if I see Kyle, his car at least being good enough. I don't see him winning. He could possibly point his way in, I think, but I do expect I could very well see him winning and being very strong at this race. But I have more of a feeling that Gibbs, he'll probably get the second or third best car from Gibbs. And so, like I said, with his talent and how he's been at Bristol in the past, he could very well win this race and be very good this weekend. But I could also see him just continuing his struggles. So I don't really know what to expect from Kyle Busch. But at Bristol, you can never count out Kyle Busch, especially in an elimination race like this where he's already on the outside looking in. You can't ever count him out. Austin Cindric, I've been surprised that he's even made up this much ground in the first round of the playoffs. Austin is a good driver, but he's still young. He's still learning the car. learning how to race around these guys. Honestly, probably I would still have Kyle Busch advancing into the next round, and Austin Cindric being the guy that's bumped out. So let's talk about it like that. The 4 that I do see eliminated, we'll go into it that way. Kevin Harvick, I just don't see him putting it together. Very well could. He won at Michigan, and then I want to say Richmond was the next one that he won at. I think. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure Richmond, another short track he already won at this season, and Harvick is good at Bristol. I just don't see it happening this weekend. Chase Briscoe, I don't see him making it in. Austin Dillon, don't see him making it in. And I would probably have to put Austin Cindric out just due to the fact that it's an elimination race and that experience, he just doesn't have it. Kyle Busch does, so I'd put Kyle moving on into the next round. So yeah, let's talk about the actual race more in general. You know, there's the guys like Chase Elliott. I think he'll be much stronger than we've seen him lately. You know, he's very good at Bristol. He almost won it last year. He's won there before. Joey Logano, another guy that's normally very good at Bristol. I could see him having a very good run. So I think, you know, some guys to watch for that maybe I'm not picking, but some guys that I would say keep an eye out on are Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, like I've already mentioned, and then Chase Elliott and Joey Logano. Both of those guys, all 4 of those guys, I could see any of those guys winning. I'm not picking any of those 4, and you know, picks-wise, both of the past 2 weekends, I'll make my pick, but with the time that this video comes out and the time we're recording it, we don't see how they've been in practice, how they've been in qualifying, so I'm kind of almost just taking a shot in the dark, especially here when the only other time we've been to Bristol, it was on dirt. They're not on dirt this time, so you really can't judge off of that. But I just have a feeling I've got Kyle Larson this weekend. I think Kyle will be really good this weekend. I think he gets another win, his 3rd win of the season. You know, kind of solidifies himself again as a championship contender. Kyle is a guy that, you know, I think on any track you could pick Kyle Larson to win. He's just that talented. But yeah, I really wish I had some kind of practice times or even really qualifying to go off of, but I don't. So it's just kind of what I'm thinking for this one, especially because there's not a past race to go off of in this car at all. So, you know, we've talked about Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch. All these guys have been good in the past, but this is a completely new car. The short track racing has been a lot different this year already. So we'll see. But yeah, I think going into the weekend, I'd pick Kyle Larson this weekend. We also have the truck race tonight. Very excited about that. I love watching the trucks. The Xfinity races, I assume tomorrow night. I haven't even checked. But yeah, Cup race will be Saturday night. Hope to have a good race. I think we will. We always do at Bristol. But yeah, be on the lookout. We have a big announcement on the channel coming up. I don't know if Caleb's going to put the announcement in here post-editing. I don't know if it's going to be in this one or if you'll see it in our Winner's Circle episode tomorrow. But make sure you subscribe, like the video, and just let us know in the comments, or let me know in the comments what you think about the first round of the playoffs, who you think is going to make it in, who you think is going to win this week's race. And also, like I said at the beginning, if you haven't, please go watch our last video on the Kyle Busch announcement for his next ride in the future. So we'll see you on Monday for our race recap.